3 years ago, when I was 19, I got my first apartment. It wasn't much, a small one-bedroom unit on the third floor of an old building. But it was cheap, close to college, and most importantly, it was mine. The first month was completely normal. Then one night, I received a voice note from an unknown number. It was only 3 seconds long. All I heard was breathing, heavy breathing. Then it ended. I assumed it was a prank and deleted it. The next night, another voice note arrived. Again, just breathing. This time it lasted about 10 seconds. No words, no background noise. Just someone breathing directly into the microphone. I blocked the number. The following evening, a different number sent another voice note. Same thing. Breathing. That was when I got uncomfortable. Someone was clearly messing with me. I changed my privacy settings and ignored it. For a few days, nothing happened. Then the messages returned, except this time there was something else. A faint sound in the background, a television. I listened carefully. The TV sounded familiar, almost identical to mine. Same sports commentator, same game, same timing. I paused. That couldn't be right. Thousands of people were watching the same match. It meant nothing. Or at least that's what I told myself. A week later, I came home from class and noticed something strange. My kitchen chair had moved. Not much, just a few inches. I lived alone. Still, I convinced myself I had forgotten. The next day, my bathroom cabinet was open. Again, maybe I left it that way. Then my TV remote disappeared. I spent hours looking for it. 3 days later, I found it under my couch. I never remembered putting it there. The voice notes kept coming. Always from new numbers. Always breathing. Never speaking. I contacted the police. They said there wasn't much they could do. The numbers were prepaid and constantly changing. They advised me to block them and stay alert. A month passed. Then one night, I received the longest voice note yet. Almost 30 seconds. I played it. Breathing. Silence. Then a noise. A creaking door. My heart stopped. Because I recognized the sound. It was my apartment's front door. I had heard that exact creak hundreds of times. I replayed it over and over. The same squeak. The same metallic click. Someone had recorded my front door. But how? I checked every lock, every window. Everything was secure. I barely slept that night. The next morning, I bought a security camera. I installed it facing the entrance. For 6 nights, nothing happened. Then on the 7th night, I got an alert. Motion detected. 2:17 a.m. I immediately opened the app. The hallway outside my apartment was empty. No movement. Nothing. The alert must have been a glitch. But when I reviewed the recording, I noticed something. At exactly 2:17 a.m., the camera briefly lost signal. Just 1 second. Then it resumed. I checked the next night. The exact same thing happened. 1 second blackout. 2:17 a.m. every night. At the same time, I reported it to building management. They checked the internet connection. Everything appeared normal. Nobody could explain it. Then came the final voice note, the one I'll never forget. It arrived at 2:18 a.m., 1 minute after the camera blackout. I played it. At first there was breathing. Then, for the first time ever, a voice. My own voice, saying, "Good night." I nearly dropped my phone. The recording ended. I sat frozen in bed. I lived alone. There was no explanation. The next morning, I packed a bag and left. I stayed with a friend. While I was there, detectives finally got involved. Not because of the messages, because another resident had reported suspicious activity. A maintenance worker, a man who had worked in the building for nearly 8 years, a man everyone trusted. Investigators searched a storage room in the basement. Inside, they found dozens of items stolen from residents. jewelry, keys, photos, documents, hidden cameras, and several phones used to send anonymous messages. The worker was arrested immediately. Police believed the case was solved, and for a while so did I, until detectives called me back. They had reviewed footage from the basement. The maintenance worker had indeed sent the messages, but they discovered something strange. He never entered my apartment, not once. In fact, according to the footage, he was out of town during the night my voice was recorded. That shouldn't have been possible. Detectives eventually searched the apartment above mine. It had been vacant for almost a year. Inside, they found evidence that someone had secretly been living there. Food, blankets, bottles of water, a mattress. But whoever had been staying there vanished before police arrived. No fingerprints, no identification. Nothing. The only thing left behind was an old digital recorder. When investigators played the files, they discovered hundreds of recordings. Months worth. People sleeping, people talking, people arguing. Residents throughout the building. Then they found one recording labeled with my apartment number. The file lasted 12 minutes. Most of it was silence. Until the very end. A man's voice whispered, "He's starting to notice us." Not me. Us. To this day, police don't know who made those recordings, or who was living upstairs. And every few months, I still receive a voice note from a new number, 3 seconds long, just breathing.